Hi, my name is Tom Tresser. I'm an educator and organizer based in Chicago, and I'd like to submit an application for consideration for the work that we've done here for the TIF Illumination Project. The TIF Illumination Project combines data mining, investigatory reporting, map making and graphic design and community organizing to explain and educate what TIFs, tax increment financing districts, are all across the city of Chicago. Now, TIFs are in 47 states, and they're ostensibly ways to bring development to so-called blighted areas. But in reality, they're giant slush funds controlled by mayors to shower public dollars on private entities, sometimes multi-billion-dollar corporations with very little accounting, evaluation, or public recourse. Now in Chicago, this is a program gone wild with 151 TIF districts that cover 33% of the city, and in 2013 they extracted $422 million in property taxes and put them in a giant slush fund controlled by the mayor. Now, what we've done at the TIF Illumination Project is produce research that looks like this. So you see a map based on our wards. We have 50 wards in the city of Chicago. And what we do here is show the outline of the TIFs. So these are the TIF shapes inside the ward, so people can locate themselves in sort of a political geography. They can sort of see these things that they've heard about, and now they can locate themselves. We also then estimate how much money the TIF districts have extracted from the ward. In this case, it's $37 million in 1 year. Now, that's a new report. Nobody's been able to explain that before, so that's news. We also show all the projects funded by TIFs. This is Chicago. People want to know who got paid. Now, this has been volunteer driven, so this has gone on for 2 years now, starting in February of 2013. Up to now, we've illuminated about 130 of these TIF districts across half the city. What's remarkable is that citizens have called us to their communities, one by one, up to 34 meetings just a few days ago. 4,400 people have come out to these meetings. Again, we've had no money, all volunteer, all grassroots. So this tells us that the citizens have an appetite and capacity to comprehend and absorb this fiscal information about where their property taxes are going and to react to it. It's part of a larger conversation in the city of Chicago and all across the country as to, are we broke or not? And who plans what for whom? Chicago is famous for top-down, big-ticket projects that tend to shower wealth on a very small group of people and have very little to do with economic justice or grassroots prosperity all across the city. The same crew of people spin these plans up and profit from them. The TIF projects are no different. Over $6 billion in property taxes have been extracted by TIFs since 1986, and perhaps as much as $4 billion of that money has been gifted to private companies, which include the guys that bought the Sears Tower, FedEx, Walmart, Coca-Cola, United Airlines, developers of high-rise office buildings in the Loop, and the list goes on. So who plans what for whom is a very pregnant issue all across urban life, not just in America, but all across the world. And are we really broke? This, again, is in a narration offered by the city as they closed 49 public schools, again, mostly just affecting poor and African American and people of color. Thousands and thousands of families were affected by that. 6 mental health clinics were closed, causing actual deaths here. Cutback of mass transit services and other essential services everywhere you look. At the same time, showering, as I say, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of property taxes on private developers with, I say, no public recourse or way to scrutinize these projects after the fact. So what we'd like to do is offer this TIF illumination work and the tools that we've built to share them with organizers all across the country who are fighting for more public services. Our rallying cry is more public. And this tool, this TIF illumination, which is online at www.tifreports.com, we believe is a powerful platform to bring people to meetings and get them educated about how their cities really work, how their dollars are being used and abused. And we think a lot can happen from that point. So this is Tom Tresser at www.tifreports.com and www.civiclab.us. In Chicago, you can reach me at tom@civiclab.us. I hope to engage with you in more detail to talk about this work. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Marjorie Tatum, and I am a real estate broker for Keller Williams Realty in Hyde Park. My office actually is in the 4th Ward, and I spent a lot of time in that community. I became interested in the TIF project some years ago, actually, and when I realized that how, frankly, unfair, unjust, and unethical that these funds were being distributed or allocated, I just knew I had to do something about it. My first meeting, actually, with Tom, I met Tom back in March at my first TIF meeting, and by the second meeting that I attended with the Civic Lab, I knew I had to volunteer. It was just so blatantly wrong, it seemed to me, and actually bordering on criminal, to be honest. Just to think how the city of Chicago can perpetuate this cycle of theft, if you will. There's no other way to explain it. It just baffles me. And I wanted to help illuminate the what's going on, because people don't know. I've learned a lot since I've been working with Tom and volunteering, how that the TIF it doesn't show on the taxpayers' property tax bill, which I think is horrible, even though it is being deducted, a great portion of it. So I know Tom is trying to work to get that put on the tax bill. That's one thing. The other is that how these companies that really don't need the money are getting millions of dollars in taxpayer TIF funds to enrich themselves, you might say, and while other areas are being ignored. And so I would just like to help in the cause any way that I can, to get the word out that this is what's going on, this is what we need to do as a community. And anyone that feels the need to either volunteer your time or donate or volunteer research time, I'm sure Tom and the rest of the team here would greatly appreciate it. We need to let the city of Chicago taxpayers know where their tax dollars are going, and it needs to be put on the property tax bill. And so come join us and help us illuminate Chicago. Thank you.